a YouTube channel. This is not getting absorbed by Oaty Box of Chocolates. This is going to be all on its own. Oaty Bible Stories. Being a Christian, I have worked with many children, many groups of people. I've served in many different capacities as a Bible teacher. Never pastored. Was great assistant to pastors. But I got I wouldn't say crossways. I would say I wound up doing prison ministry, and now I'm excited to be doing ministry again online. But because I disagreed with some, trying to avoid sounding, I don't care. I do care. So I disagree with the way the church is being ran today. I think that the church that the Lord started is being ran much more like a business. I am a member of a church. I do go to a church. But I got out of the politics of local church, and I just decided to go to the prisons and minister to those people who are incarcerated. There's a lot of bad people in prison. There's a lot of good people in prison too. Almost all of them guilty. Guilty. And I think prison's a good thing for those kinds of people. But nonetheless, we were in the scriptures, the Lord said to go visit them in prison. And so I found the prison ministry very rewarding. But aside from the prison ministry, I have served in many capacities, and one of my favorite things to do is to teach young minds. I love working with children. As of right now, I and my wife, we have 6 children. All of them are grown. If you'll go watch, there's another channel we're starting called, and she'll probably make an appearance on everyone because she's like my right-hand person. The only daughter we have left to raise here at home is Carly. And so Carly is like, me and Carly are really close right now. All the other kids have grown, married, moved off, started their own families. But me and my wife, we have 6 kids. And then we have, as of right now, 8 grandchildren. So, yeah, and if anyone's out there who understands the whole XY chromosome thing, let me tell you, girls, we have 6 granddaughters. We have 4 daughters. We have 2 grandsons. Girls tend to dominate in this family. So, but having said that, kids, I love kids. I love teaching kids, and I will be teaching flannel graph stories. About right now, we're well over the 200 mark of is content-wise on which stories we're going to teach. I'm going to do the Betty Lukens flannel graph stories, Bible stories for children, for kids, and so I'll be teaching through that. But besides that, there's roughly around probably a total of 350, 400 Bible stories that I'll be teaching, and not all of them necessarily on flannel graph, but for the most part. And for every single video that I do, I say every single video, as of right now it's the plan. For every child video that I teach, I will also be doing an adult version of the same section of scripture. So Oaty Bible Stories coming up, it's its own channel. And then in coherence with that, and coherence? Right along the same lines as that is going to be, I haven't decided the names yet, but it's going to be One Arm Tweaky, Oaty Bible Shorts for YouTube and TikTok. So starting a TikTok as well. For Oaty Bible Shorts for TikTok, basically we're going to do the once over, and that's it. Because you only got a minute on TikTok apparently, or less, to get your message across. And so we're going to be going through discussing this. And so for Bible Shorts on YouTube, basically we're going to be going through the Bible. We're going to do an overview of the Bible. That's the book. And then after that, we're going to be doing an overview over the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Bible itself is 66 books divided into 2 testaments. 39 books in the Old Testament, 27 books in the New Testament, and then we're going to do an overview. Once we get through with that, we're going to be doing an overview of basically every single chapter in the Bible. There are 1,189 chapters in the Bible, and so we're going to be doing a 1-minute video basically summarizing all of that, and it's going to be categorized. It'll be in its own YouTube channel, and it'll be categorized. So if anybody was interested in going and just getting a brief once over, that'll be a good place to go. And then maybe after that, maybe we'll go on to do a video on every single verse of the Bible. Wouldn't that be great? But how long is it going to take us to make 1,200 videos, 1 minute long? I think we're going to be doing some batching and probably some major uploading. They'll be very simple. And what can you say in a minute? I mean, about a book that's there's just, I don't think if we had 10 lifetimes there would be enough to cover about that book. It's a living book. It's an amazing book. All right. This is where we're at today. Oaty box of chocolates. In Oaty box of chocolates, there is all kinds of topics. We can cover everything from travel to other books, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Some that got absorbed into a box of chocolates is I thought about since we live in the Southwest. It started out with ghost towns. Oaty Ghost Towns was going to be a YouTube channel, and then there just turned out to be too much content. And so what we did was we thought, well, how about just a haunted ghost towns? And then that turned into, well, like for example, my daughter, she likes to do some urban exploration, and so we go to different places. And so when we went to Costa Rica, for example, we went to the there's an insane asylum there that's kind of abandoned in the jungle. We went to an old insane asylum, and I thought, well, how about if we, instead of just doing haunted ghost towns, and then there's ancient ruins. We went to Belize and we seen some of the Mayan ruins there. And so in Costa Rica, there's a prison we didn't even get to go to. We went to an abandoned church in the jungle. We went to Guayabo to the ancient ruins there out in the jungle, and we went down to Seripe and saw the spheres, Los Feros, and it's down by the Panamanian border on the Pacific side, on the south side of the country, on the south side of Central America, basically, almost South America. Anyway, so we went down there, and there's so much things that we want to share, that I want to share, that I think people would be interested in. And so what we did was we just said, I say we, I'm not like me, myself, and I'm not paranoid schizophrenic. Well, I don't think I am. Anyway, I wanted to be able to cover all of these things and not just ghost towns, Oaty ghost towns. So like we have tons of ghost towns here in New Mexico. I could take you around within a 150-mile radius and show you probably 10 different places where there used to be people and buildings, and now there's just buildings, if there's even buildings left, old homesteads. So there's just too much topic. So I said, we're going to pick out some really interesting ones and do the best entertainment that we can for the listener. So into Oaty box of chocolates, I'm going to set this one here for now, because this is where the YouTube channel, actually, we got to the description was so big that Dee said, Tony, knock it off. My name's Tony, by the way. He said, knock it off. And you can't add all that. You can't put all that on a YouTube channel. I was like, well, why not? And he said, the title's too long. He said, there's algorithms and stuff. And I was like, algo what? Anyway, so he said, you need to do something different. And so I said, okay, let's do something different. And so what we decided to do was let Oaty box of chocolates absorb this. Get this as the title: Oaty ghost towns, ancient cities, and mysterious ruins. All of that was going to be a YouTube channel. We got tons of content. I got a stack of content this big that we will never get through just because there's too much to do. But there are some really cool places that we're going to cover under that which got absorbed into Oaty box of chocolates. Now think of this: underground. Did you know that Los Angeles is like 3 cities on top of each other? New York, same way. All over Europe, France, the River Thames. All of these places have multiple levels of cities underneath them. All over Turkey, El Paso, Texas. I love El Paso. By the way, if you ever get to El Paso, since this is Oaty box of chocolates and we can talk about whatever, I'm going to tell you about a restaurant called, there's many good Mexican restaurants in there, but Carlos and Mickey's. Is it Carlos and Mickey's? No, Carlos and Mickey's were friends of my grandparents. It's called Mickey's and Carlos's? No, it's Carlos and Mickey's. Mickey and Roland's was my grandparents' friends. Carlos and Mickey's. It's a great place. They have it's almost like Jalisco style, from the ocean, from the desert, from Juarez, everything you can possibly think of. The food is amazing, and the only thing better than the food is the service. By the way, they're not paying me. I don't even think anyone there speaks English. No, that's not true. They do speak English. If you ever get to El Paso, they have several different locations. I think they still have one in the airport that's open. If you're flying or you're passing through the ELP, did anyone just see what I just saw? Right through here, if you back it up like 10 seconds, I just saw an insect fly through the screen. I hate flies. Spring in New Mexico is like the best time because there's no flies. There is definitely something flying around here. It may be a bee. It's nighttime, I'm recording. Chances are it's a fly. Probably a horse fly, being this early in the spring. We'll have flies later on. I don't like flies. I don't like mosquitoes. In fact, we usually take an escape. We're actually planning a trip to Costa Rica. We usually take an escape in the wintertime and get down to Costa Rica at least once a year. And I love it because you go to the jungle and you would expect, especially down on the Caribbean side by a place called Puerto Viejo, there's different places. Punta Uva, Manzanillo, they're on the side of Limon. I don't go to Limon, as far as I know, and as best as I can ever tell. I drove through Limon by accident one time. Limon's, Costa Rica is